Hey, what's up, everybody? Just wanted to do an update on RGBA news and content. This Sunday, Mikey, via social media, announced that he's signed a contract for a one-fight deal with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing on the DAZN platform. This Friday, in Indio, California, Vergil Ortiz Jr. improved to 15-0 by stopping Brad Solomon, who only had one defeat on his record. That happened at the Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino in Indio, California. Vergil Ortiz, this is his third fight at 147. He is from Grand Prairie, Texas, and is promoted by Golden Boy Promotions. You can follow him on Instagram at Vergil Ortiz. Here's a picture of the locker room. There you see Vergil in the middle. I believe this was the warm-up, as you see multiple champions in there. To Vergil's right is Jose Ramirez and Josesito Lopez. Down at the bottom you see Mikey, then Robert, and to the right of Robert is Brandon Bam Bam Rios. Everybody in here is part of the team or part of the family. There you see Ellie on the bottom far left. Charles Tremblay in the blue is Jose Ramirez's strength and conditioning coach, and he's been helping Vergil the last 2 or 3 fights. Scheduled for December 28th, Brandon Bulletproof Glanton, who's under the banner of Mikey Garcia Promotions. He's 11-0, 9 knockouts. He's from Atlanta. He will be on the card, the main event between Tank Davis and Yuriorkis Gamboa in Atlanta on December 28th. If you want to follow Brandon, he's at Team Bulletproof on Instagram. Also from the RGBA camp, Jackson El Phoenix Marinez, I believe he's a free agent. He's from the Dominican Republic. He joined the team along with Carlos El Caballo Bronco Adames. So if you want to follow him, he's at _Phoenix. He fights at 135. There you see him with one of the McKenna brothers for sparring. Joshua El Profesor Franco from San Antonio, 15-1-2. There you see him on the far right. With Hector in the middle, and I believe that's Ronnie Rios to the far left. Ronnie Rios was there in support of his brother who was on the fight card. Both Hector and Josh are scheduled to fight in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome January 11th. They're both promoted by Golden Boy Promotions, so that's a picture of them at in Indio. They're in support of their stablemate Vergil Ortiz from Dallas. At Professor Franco, at Professor Franco, if you want to follow him on Instagram. Hector Tanajara, 18-0, 5 knockouts. He's the current WBC Youth Champion. He's fighting also on January 11th there at the Alamo Dome. At Hector_Tanajara, if you want to follow him on Instagram. Joseph Adorno is 14-0 with 12 knockouts. He's from Allentown, Pennsylvania. He is promoted by Top Rank. He's scheduled to fight January 11th at the Hard Rock Hotel in Atlantic City. At Real Joseph Adorno, if you want to follow him on Instagram. He either fights at 130, he fights at 130. And his younger brother fights at 122. Jeremy Magic Hands Adorno, 3-0 on that same fight card. At Magic Hands _Jeremy, if you want to follow him on Instagram. Jose Ramirez just signed a contract with Top Rank for a multi-year deal, multiple fights a year. 25-0, 17 knockouts. He is the unified champion. WBC, and I believe his other title is the WBO. He mentioned in his press conference that he'd like to be undisputed, and the other 2 belts are with Josh Taylor, who beat Regis Prograis in the World Boxing Super Series. So Jose Ramirez has a fight scheduled, a WBC mandatory with Victor Postol. That'll take place in China. At JC Ramirez 2012. The 2012 is because that's the year he was in the Olympics. So at JC Ramirez 2012, if you want to follow him, he's an activist, human rights activist in his area in Fresno. So follow him on his Instagram. And then Lance Pugmire from the Los Angeles Times says, Ramirez tells me his priority is to go after Josh Taylor and capture the 4 belts at 140, and then go after Terence Crawford if he's still a champion up there. Esquiva Falcao was also at the event in Indio in support of stablemate Vergil Ortiz. He's 25-0, 17 knockouts. I believe he is also from the 2012 Olympics, representing Brazil. And his last fight was November 9th. That's an old picture against a different opponent. Esquiva Falcao on Instagram. Mikey Garcia, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, just announced his fight date of February 29th. He has signed a one-fight deal with options on a second with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. And he posted on Twitter, "I am happy to announce my return to the ring February 29th. I look forward to working with DAZN and Matchroom Boxing for my upcoming fight." He's 39-1, 30 knockouts. He is originally from Oxnard, but he's been living in Moreno Valley for many, many, many years. And you can follow him at Team Mikey Garcia on Instagram. Josesito Lopez was also there at the event in Indio in support of Vergil Ortiz, 37-8. He is a local fighter from Riverside. He started his career with Thompson Boxing, and he had an impressive win September 28th on the Spence Porter card here at the Staples Center in LA, where he stopped John Molina Jr. At Jose Lopez on Instagram if you want to follow him. Erick DeLeon, 19-0 with one draw. That one draw was against Andy Vences, a very good fighter from Northern California. So news coming soon. Eric posted on his Instagram recently at Team DeLeon1 if you want to follow him. Carlos Caballo Bronco Adames, 18-1, 14 knockouts. He suffered his first loss against Patrick Tejeda. He was knocked down in the late rounds. That was to set up a fight with Jaime Munguia in the future, or for Jaime Munguia's belt that he vacated at 154. So the loss kind of moves him off his track, but I'm sure he'll be back in a stronger way. At Caballo Bronco on Instagram if you want to follow him. Jonathan Thunder Navarro from East LA, 17-0, 9 knockouts. His last fight was October 24th. More news on him at Thunder Navarro on Instagram. Carlos Licona from Westminster, California, Orange County. He's 15-1, 2 knockouts. He was the strawweight or minimum weight 105 IBF world champion, and then he lost that title in his first title defense in February. So more news on him at Mexicanito12 on Instagram if you want to follow him. John El Terrible Bauza, 13-0, 5 knockouts. He was scheduled to fight at Temple University there in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with the Adorno brothers, but for some reason that fight was canceled. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Real John Bauza. Louie Coria, 12-2-0. He was scheduled to fight Adam Lopez, but Adam Lopez was brought up because Oscar Valdez's opponent weighed, I think, close to 11 pounds overweight. So they asked Louie to step aside, and Adam Lopez filled in as an opponent for Oscar Valdez, even dropping Oscar Valdez early in the fight, and then eventually Oscar Valdez, I believe he stopped Adam Lopez. The ref intervened. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at King Louis 416. Lindolfo Delgado, 11-0, 11 knockouts. Him and Chino Rodriguez, Misael El Chino Rodriguez, were recently in Japan traveling. There was rumors of trying to get a WBC international title fight for Lindolfo Delgado in Mexico, but that clearly did not come to fruition. You can follow him at Lindolfo Delgado on Instagram. Jesse Van Rodriguez, 10-0, 6 knockouts. We don't have any news on him. Hopefully he gets a title shot soon. At 210 Bam, he's from San Antonio. This is Josh Franco's little brother. He fights at 108. Misael El Chino Rodriguez was trying to get a fight at the end of the year, but he posted very recently on his Instagram that his next fight will be in 2020. 10-0 from Parral, Chihuahua. He and Lindolfo are promoted by Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports. Aaron the Silencer McKenna, 10-0. He fights at 147. His last fight was December 5th. Those guys him and his brother are back in Ireland, and they are currently on a press tour with radio shows. So at Aaron MCK99 if you want to follow him on Instagram. Ray Muratalla is still undefeated at 9-0 with 6 knockouts. He had a fight November 2nd on a top-ranked show there at the StubHub Center, now called the Dignity Health Sports Park. At Ray_Muratalla1 on Instagram if you want to follow him. He's from Fontana. Jose Ruben Rodriguez, 9-1, 3 knockouts. He had that same fight date with Ray Danger there November 2nd at Dignity Health Sports Park. The ref waved off the flag after he got into a little bit of trouble in the corner. I thought it was early for the ref to wave it off, but it is what it is. So hopefully there's a strong comeback coming for Ruben Rodriguez from Indio, California. He fights at 140. At Ruben NR if you want to follow At Ruben NR_ if you want to follow him on Instagram. Genaro Gamez, 9-1, 6 knockouts. He suffered his first loss this fall against Luis Feliciano. It was a 10-rounder at 140 there in Indio. He posted just yesterday that he was in a really bad car accident and that he's going to recover from that injury. It looks like he got several staples on the back of his head. It looked like a pretty bad cut. And he said he'll be back in 2020. So Genaro Gamez from San Diego, promoted by Golden Boy Promotions. At Genaro Gamez if you want to follow him on Instagram. Alfredo Escarcega from the F1 Boxing Gym in Phoenix, Arizona is 8-0 with 1 draw. His last fight was September 6th, where he fought to a draw there at a Garcia promoted event in San Bernardino. At AE.JR if you want to follow him on Instagram. Aaron Morales there in the white t-shirt improves to 8-0. He was the most active prospect in 2018. He fought a total of 5 times, I believe, in 9 months. So he's fought another additional 3 times this year in 2019. He fought September 21st in Bakersfield, and he got a 7th round TKO. At Aaron_Morales if you want to follow him on Instagram. They were trying to get him on the card here on the Charlo event this Saturday, but he was seen active in the gym via ES News. But he is not listed on BoxRec, and it sounds like the Garcias haven't mentioned that. So sounds like he might head back home and then just start camp at a date in the future. At Aaron_Morales if you want to follow him on Instagram. Isidro Ochoa also suffered his first loss this year. He was on the Tyson Fury card in Las Vegas. He's from the Central Valley RGBA. Robert Biggie Rodriguez on the far left. He's from San Antonio. Improved to 7-0, 3 knockouts. I believe he fights at 112. He's just like Aaron. He's a independent. He's not fighting under any specific promotion. And he got another win November 16th there on a Rick Marone's event in San Antonio, Texas. At BiggieJR_ if you want to follow him on Instagram. Evan Sanchez from the Central Valley RGBA will be fighting on Ryan Garcia's event there in Anaheim on February 14th. I believe all his fights were in Mexico, and then he had his U.S. debut earlier this year, improving to 6-0 with 4 knockouts. Him and his family, along with Brian Lua and a couple other fighters, run the Central Valley RGBA. At Real Evan Sanchez on Instagram if you want to follow him. I believe he's a 147-pounder. Ivan Garcia from Paris, California. Paris is a small community in Riverside. Was scheduled to fight on Prospects Collide 2 in San Bernardino, but that fight date was canceled. I believe the information was put out there that his opponent couldn't pass the medical exams. So he fights at 118, has tons of sparring, other people his weight there at the gym, and more news on him coming soon. At Ivan_Garcia. Breenan Bfly Macias, 5-0 with 2 draws, 2 knockouts. He's also from the F1 Boxing Gym in Phoenix, Arizona. He has a fight scheduled December 21st, Saturday, in Mexicali. And good luck to him. We'll see how Bfly does on that event. His Instagram is at B_Fly FLY301. Alexis El Macizo Espino is 4-0 with 2 knockouts. He had he was supposed to be on the Logan Paul KSI event there at the Staples Center, and for some reason that date was canceled. Then he was scheduled to be fighting December 5th, and the date and his fight for that was canceled as well. So he should be closer to 6-0 or 7-0. He's had a little bit of bad luck with opponents not coming through on their end of the contract. So Alexis El Macizo Espino, one of the hottest prospects out of Matchroom Boxing, at part of Team RGBA. At _ Alexis Espino 1 if you want to follow him on Instagram. He fights at 160. Stevie Hitman McKenna, 4-0, 4 knockouts, fights at 140. As a favor to Robert, Marcos Contreras was in Stevie's corner, as Robert Garcia had the responsibility to be with Esquiva Falcao at a Fresno event in November. So him and his brother are on a press tour in Ireland, and we look forward to seeing them back in 2020. At Stevie _ McKenna on Instagram. Isaac Colunga, where there hasn't been any news put out there on him. If you want updates on him, you can follow his mom at Carrie Colunga, or his aunt at Shelly _ Shell12, or a family friend, Dodger Girl 19. Isaac Colunga was a prospect who was 3-0 and is the victim of a drive-by shooting in Riverside. So prayers go out to Isaac Colunga. This year, Garcia Promotions had 6 events. There's probably going to be 8 events plus 2 fights with Mikey, where their prospects and their Team RGB will be able to fill in fights slots on either Mikey's fights or on Garcia promoted events. The record, along now with Vergil's win on Friday, they improved to 79 wins, 8 losses, and 4 draws. The amateur record, I've lost track. They're 20-6 based on some tournaments that I was able to keep track on, but there's way more wins than that now. If you want to follow Robert Garcia, he's at Garcia Boxing on Instagram. Pita is at Garcia _ Pita, or it might be _ Garcia Pita. Chepe is at JA _ Contreras 95. Mikey at Team Mikey Garcia. Frank at Frantic _1. Ellie at Ellie Setback. Rainbow at TS by Rainbow. And Vergil Sr. at Vergil SR. Please like and subscribe. I'm Sontail Media on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Sontail _ Media and Sontail _ Media.